almost exclusively it will start with a melody and a chord progression. There have been a few times where I consciously started with something that I wrote and worked around that to varying degrees of success. Sometimes the music felt a little forced in those cases. I started co-writing a lot when the Owls started, which coincides with my wife and I starting to make recordings together. I didn't even know that she wrote songs for like 7 years into our relationship, and then one day she played me a couple songs and it was like, honey, this is really good, you know? And so we proceeded to make a demo of the Owls, which at the time was just the two of us. So that was our first, that was my first real collaboration, I think. Although I was more just in a producer, arranger role at that point. But as the Owls grew into a band and we brought in our friend Maria and our friend Steve, it got real collaborative, and I would write music and Allison would write lyrics and Maria would sing it, and Steve would tell us to change certain chords, and you know, so it really opened up at that point. Doing visual art and music definitely coincided for me, and I think discovering my own creative process as a visual artist kind of guided how I did music. There seemed to be a real parallel between those two things, and I just kind of assumed that, well, this is how I do things. It must be the right way, and you know, with not a whole lot of music theory behind it. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that it started that way. But it never has really felt like work to write songs. You know, I mean, I've gotten real busy at different points. In fact, right now, I'm pretty darn busy and haven't really properly worked on songs in maybe a month or two. But I just kind of trust that when I do have a solid chunk of time, that it's going to be there. Now, lyrics are a different story. The music it seems to always be flowing, but there have been long periods where I just don't feel like I have anything to say, and that was nice to have the Owls and my wife, who is a pretty prolific lyric writer, to sometimes finish something that I start. And that feels like a luxury, kind of.